everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Post-Fades Cheesesteaks. We are recapping week 17, which means we have 1 week left of the NFL regular season. How wild is that?
Honestly, it feels like a tale of two seasons though. The
Hmm.
beginning of the year, to be fair, the
Well,
Eagles have
as
never
Eagles
been very
fans, yes.
dominant. Yeah, it's been hairy all season long, but this is just miserable hairy. It used to be like, oh, we won, whatever. This sucks. This is just
It's yeah, I mean, so I did you obviously were doing some holiday visiting, holiday travel,
of
and
course
people were busy. I was busy. I was like, let me just do a quick solo episode. And I sounded like a fucking moron because
more
I,
than usual.
more than usual, more than usual.
Nice, nice.
I still believed. I guess maybe it was a little Santa dust
Oh,
was on me.
yeah.
I was like, you know what? They're playing Gannon. There's got to be some like revenge for the at least the defense.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe this would be a great this would be a great get right game.
Yep. That
All it
exactly.
actually was a get worse game,
It's true.
and we went from saying, well, it can't get worse than Matt Patricia to wow, Matt Patricia is fucking garbage. Like
Yeah, he really
I
gave you nothing to be excited for.
I'm stunned that this defense didn't force a single punt against a 3-win Arizona Cardinals team without their number one receiver, with like a mediocre offensive line with wide receiver threes all over the field. I'm it doesn't it comes this is like the point where I'm at now, that it's like it's coaching and the issues with the coaching, game planning, and keeping the players in line and together. There's no one. It feels like no one cares, and the players obviously are going to say, "Oh,
No.
yo, we're not." There's no turmoil. Like we're all in it together. Like no bullshit. Nobody plays with heart. You can say you do, but it doesn't show it on the field. That defense is you have I would say top two defensive line in the league. No pressure, no sacks, no nothing.
Nothing.
Where was
Nothing.
Hassan Reddick? Why was he playing coverage? Um,
Where's any of them? Then none of them
you
show up. Where's
know,
Josh Sweat? Where's all these guys?
hate him or love him, Bradbury is supposed to still be a top 15, top 20 corner where he didn't really make any plays. The amount of times I see him almost intercept the ball or almost get a turnover is annoying. Um, for everything good that Sidney Brown does, like that pick six, 99-yard pick six, yeah, where he turned on the Jets. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was nice.
But he still flies around like crazy and then Reed Blankenship plays really well, makes good tackles, and then gives, breaks down in coverage. And then, Kevin Byard, a couple time all pro.
I haven't seen him do
He's been a
anything.
little better, but he's not making those splash impact plays that
He's
we
just a guy
were
out there,
waiting.
to be honest.
And someone compared him to Golden Tate. Like Golden Tate came to Philly, made some plays, won him a playoff game, but like besides that, he wasn't like the Golden Tate they were hoping for.
He's more like
And
Robert Quinn, to be
and
honest.
like I still love Kevin Byard. Like he'll still be one of my favorite safeties when all's said and done. But he's just not. It's just not. I'm hoping maybe in the playoffs he makes one of those big plays. But getting Slay back, I think is going to be huge. People were shitting on Slay all year. I said that he's probably playing hurt. He always plays hurt every year. He's too old, and hopefully he's healed enough to be good. Because Maddox looked real rusty. He
Oh, he was
got burnt.
terrible.
He got burnt all over the field. And you know what? In Eagles' defense, they probably said this is a great fucking game for Max to come back in because he's playing garbage wide receivers. Didn't matter.
Yeah.
Got
No, it
burnt
did not matter
like
at all.
crazy. So that's my rant. That was all defense too. We even we even touched the offense
I mean,
doing wide receiver screens, or excuse me, running back screens to Kenny Gainwell
oh, don't
on
no, hold
like
on, hold on.
second and
I'm not
20,
meant.
third and
Let
20,
me let
whatever it
me
was. Oh,
let me ease into that. We can't just
let me
take
take a
tequila
drink.
shots to start. Yeah, we have to come a couple beers in us before we just take the
Woo!
tequila
All right.
shots. I
That was my
let,
bad.
let me. I'm not going there yet. I mean, defensively, yeah, I think you hit
Oh
it on the
man.
head. I've been saying a lot, like defensively, I think is more a personnel problem. Obviously, the coaching's not been good, but I think it's been a personnel problem more
Darius
than anything
Leonard
this
is,
year.
I can see now why he's wasn't getting picked up by teams or why the
But
Colts
to
cut
me,
him.
and this was, I remember when we talked about this, like, what's the interest? I was like, I don't think there's any interest. Like,
Hmm.
for him to be released by a team that's in the playoff hunt, the division hunt at the time, and mostly because they want to give him less snaps and he wasn't cool with it, makes me think that he is completely washed. To
Someone
do it
said
in the middle of the
he
season,
he runs like a old person trying to get to the bathroom before they shit themselves. Like he just
yeah,
doesn't
it's
look smooth. He's not. He doesn't break down on his tackles, and
yeah, but you know why you do that? You know why you bring in Kevin Byard? You know why you go sign Darren like Shaq Leonard? Because you're desperate. Because you're playing so bad
mm,
that you're just throwing things into the fire. Howie's just trying to make some deals. He's trying his best to just get stuff out there. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because I think what you hit on, there's no heart. There's no heart on this team.
there's not.
I'm
They
not
don't
in the
give.
locker
They don't
room,
care.
but just watching them makes me think that there
The
is no
body
one.
language
Oh, there's
so
no one
bad.
like there is no one leading and holding them accountable. Like Jalen doesn't seem like he's that guy. Like nothing against him in that aspect. Like he seems like he's a silent leader. He's gonna go work hard. He's gonna, say the right things. But he doesn't seem like he's gonna go and get on anyone. He's not gonna go tell AJ Brown,
Yeah.
shut the fuck up. Go, go make a play and stop, throwing a tantrum. Nick Sirianni is getting
Throw AJ
completely
the
exposed.
ball, man. He'll make plays. Just get the ball in his hand. Look at CeeDee Lamb. That's what the Cowboys do. They have nobody else. Pollard's average as a starting running back. Gallup's disappears. Brandon Cooks is good for a couple of Hail Marys. They just feed Gallup, or excuse me, they just feed CeeDee Lamb, and he gets 200
Well, yeah,
fucking yards. Like,
because they put him in a position to succeed. This is what our
yeah,
coaches don't do.
AJ Brown should be
But
doing that. Why don't they give him the ball? Why don't they put him in good
everyone should be.
routes? Doesn't
There's
make
too much
sense.
talent. This is how it's been offensively all year. Is there's too much talent for them not to be able to, succeed every once in a while. Like, but the coaching's so bad that they just constantly hold them back. I mean, hitting back on the defense. I mean, defensively they looked like a mess. There was no hope.
I don't think Messi even begins to describe
449
it.
yards total yards. You gave them 32 first downs. They had the ball for 40 minutes. They
That's
doubled our time of possession. Like you could not get off the
32
field.
first downs. I'm looking at that now too. Holy shit. They had
The, the
72
the the third
plays.
down thing is almost like I'd
Uh,
love to see our stats. I don't have the stats in front of me. I feel like we never stop a third down. If it's third and 7 plus, they're guaranteed to get it
they
up.
actually
It's
didn't really get into
revolting.
third down much. They were 5 of 10.
That's still 50%.
They had 72 plays. How was that 50%? Oh, yeah, yeah, 50% conversion. I'm saying they weren't
Against a
in third
3-win
down.
team. Like
Yeah,
that
no.
that is not good. I mean,
They
I think
had
that's probably
double
that's probably one of their better percentages on third down from this season, to be honest with you. But to the Cardinals, it's pathetic.
they had almost double the yards, more than double the plays, double time of possession, which is insane to me. Um, yeah, I
You're
just
That infuriates me even more. If you lose to a team like a couple blown coverages, whatever, maybe there's a couple deep balls, maybe some broke a tackle or whatever, fine. The thing was, the Cardinals moved the ball methodically against you all
mm.
drive. That means that a 3-win team was just consistently better every single snap, every single play, every single drive than you. You had an ample amount of times to make a play, make a stop, and they just never did. They could never get off the field. They just were getting driven on
the
over
fact
and over and over again.
the fact like and it's I guess the only silver lining is that besides the San I would say
No, no,
besides
no,
San
no, no,
Francisco.
no, no. There is no more Santa dust. Don't even contain this.
No, no,
There is no
no.
silver
No, no,
lining.
no, no.
There is none. No,
No,
we're
no.
bringing on tsunamis and pain.
All I'm saying is here's the problem. They are underperforming, and that's why they're in these predicaments, and that's why they're losing games. And I'm saying the only, I guess, slight bright spot is that it's not like they're straight up losing these games. Like they've had a chance to win every single game besides San Fran. The Dallas game, they fumbled like 3 times in their own, like in
Yeah, but
enemy territory. This game, they could, all they had to do was go down and score after that onside kick. And what did they
they
do?
don't
They
do
did
it.
moronic QB. Why did they keep doing design runs for Jalen? Just keep it RPO. Let him
Dude,
decide
I've
if
been
there's
saying
an
that since
opening.
week 4.
It doesn't make sense. It's like 1st and 20. Let's do a QB run. Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. Or maybe just go for yards and try to get a first down so you can get into 1st and goal so you can score a touchdown because you need a touchdown to put away these Cardinals team because you know damn well that defense isn't stopping them. 0 punts. I mean, the Eagles had the
Yeah.
ball for 20 minutes and they only punted twice. Granted, I think if they got the ball more, sure, it could have been a different game. But that's the fact of the game is that the defense didn't step up, and now it's like Dallas needs to lose to Washington for us to get the division back, and we still have to beat the
No, we're
Giants.
not getting the division. We're not getting the division. We were to wrap up on the defense before I really get on the offense because they're the ones that are killing us, just slowly destroying my soul.
Hmm.
The second half, you were outscored 29-10.
Yep.
29-10.
Felt
And
very, very
I will
reminiscent
counter.
of the Giants game.
I will counter with what you said about though they've been in every game, this and that. I will say that they should have probably a couple different plays go a couple different ways. They should have lost every single game this season. The
Yeah.
problem is this is the same team from week one, week two. The only difference is they're not as lucky as they were in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's different. Nothing changed. This is still the same team that won 10 games or whatever. That's the problem. That is the biggest problem. Is the team is no different than they were in the beginning of the season. They're just not as lucky as they were earlier. Had things changed, guys got hurt, maybe they got a little away from what was winning, something schemed different, whatever. I'd be a little more understanding because you can lie to me and tell me, oh, maybe we'll find that success. But the thing is, this is the same exact team. This is what makes me think we're never going to break out of this. And this is who we are. Maybe you get lucky a couple of games in the playoff. Maybe you don't. But this is what you're going to have to deal with. You're going to have to deal with a defense that can't stop a 3-win team, a defense that
Hmm.
allows 35 points with a 3-win team, an
Crazy.
offense that gets outscored by freaking 20 points in the second half to a 3-win team,
Mm-mm.
an offense that can barely score against a Seahawks defense that is missing their two best players, an offense that is so inept that even though they have arguably two all pro wide receivers, an MVP candidate in a quarterback, best offensive line in football, and a top five tight end, still can't manage to functionally make plays. It's infuriating. And you touched on this either. When they were in the red zone, Milana gets the penalty. It's 1st and 20, and they run the quarterback draw. And 2nd 20, they do exactly the same thing. And then 3rd and 20 or 3rd and 18, whatever it was, they throw a screen with Devontae Smith as the lead blocker, as he always is, and he gets hurt, and it was a complete disaster, and they lose the game. That, in a nutshell, describes to you what this offensive play calling is. And to go back to, like I said earlier, with no guy that, no one in that locker room that's willing to step up and be an alpha or a leader, I think Sirianni's getting completely exposed in that aspect. He doesn't have the balls to either,
What?
well, A, he doesn't have the balls to take over offensive play calling and put his own stamp on the offense, or B, he's such a terrible offensive play caller that he was saved by Steichen last year and that he
Well, he
has a big
was.
handprint on this play calling more than we probably think because we're all calling for Brian Johnson's head. But just what are you going to do? Either step up and take the reins and own your offense, or just figure something else out, man. Because you are a terrible offensive coach if
Yeah,
you are
I
calling these
mean,
plays.
final thoughts are really Sirianni is listen, when he got hired, we all knew he was a puppet. Like we all knew like he was going to be controlled by Howie and Jeff and like this and that, and they were going to give him coordinators and whatever. But then he surprised us last year, right? With taking us to the Super Bowl. Like he got the locker room was tight, everyone was a family, this and that, dog mentality, whatever. Now this year, like you said, he's kind of getting exposed in that. Okay, well, you started play calling when you got hired, but you got that taken away from you because you were garbage at calling plays. We're seeing now you can't game plan with Brian Johnson. The two of you knuckleheads don't know what the fuck you're doing. And now it's like, so who are you as a coach? Like, what do you bring to this team if you're not rallying them? You're not coming up with better game plans. You're not finding adjustments. You got players who don't know what fucking play they're running, who's supposed to be on the field late in the game. And, it's infuriating. He's not going to get fired. He's still won 10 games, but the, the problem is for me, it's like we've been saying all year this team's way too talented to be this bad. But now I'm looking at it as there are some leaders on this team that I know would not bow out of a fight, and I need them to prove that that's still true. Looking at Jason Kelsey, Brandon
Oh, I
Graham,
agree.
Jalen Hurts, I need to see them step up and take fucking initiative. I mean, I saw Jason Kelsey. He looked like he was gonna cry in the locker room the other day. Like he looked
They look
miserable.
just
He looked like,
defeated.
yeah,
They
they
look
look
defeated
they're
and
empty.
this doesn't mean like Sirianni doesn't have to be the alpha or the take over the
He's
team
not the
and
only
bring some
problem, but he
energy.
is at the heart of it.
But someone has to.
Yeah,
Someone has to. You have too many
the
guys there.
players need to
Someone
step up.
has to do it. I don't, and Jalen doesn't strike me as that guy. He seems like a quiet, lead by example kind of guy. But like you said, you've got Graham, Cox, Kelsey, Lane Johnson,
Yeah,
these guys that have been on the team for a long time. Those guys that I think actually set Sirianni up for success because they are such a leading force in the locker room
we've
that
seen
people buy into his rah rah stuff. But where are they now?
we've seen crazy things happen. The saying is you just need to get in. this team does not give me any confidence. I'm almost at negative confidence that they're
No,
even
yeah,
going to
there's
win, even going to beat the Giants this week.
no,
Um,
I don't. I have zero. This problem we've been saying this all season. The NFC sucks. They're not very deep. The Eagles,
I was just
I
saying,
would say, are closer. They are closer to a team like the Packers and the Rams than they are to a team like the Niners. They are closer to the bottom of the NFC playoff picture than they are to the top. And I really don't think it's close. I see more of Rams, Packers, and this Eagles team than I do in the Niners.
oh, for sure. I think the Niners are on another level. I think the Eagles could still muddle their way against Dallas. I think they could muddle their way through the Lions, like play a close game. But it's like
Yeah, but you know what?
nothing. I'm not inspired. I don't.
No, nothing.
We've seen, but like I've said, we've seen the Titans. I remember one year went into the play, like snuck into the playoffs, beat the Ravens. I think of the wild card, and like so, like
That was a
anything's
different team,
possible.
though.
But
They weren't looking like foolish
I
every
know
game of the
I'm
season.
just saying, there's always a chance they can flip it and figure it out in 2 weeks. I don't think it's going to happen.
No,
I think they could. I
I
think even with this team as miserable as they are, could still beat the Bucks or the Saints in the first round. But they're not. They're not doing anything. They're not going
the
anywhere.
problem is like you were set up. I mean, like you said, you were in a good mood, after the Giants just went out, and I mean, I kind
I
of
was
was
not in a
too. I
good mood after
was,
the Giants. I was
yeah, I don't,
pissed.
but
Bless you.
thank you. I think with the playoff picture, which concerns me, they are a veteran team. They could get hot. Anything could happen. But if you win the division, you get the second seed, which I mean, I was rooting for Dallas. Dallas came through. It
No, see,
pained
that's
me
why I was
the
rooting
way
for the
that
Lions because I was worried
that
about
way the
shit
way
like
that game
this.
went, that game went, I was so pissed. I was like, I'm rooting for the Cowboys, but I'm so angry right now with them. I can't do it. I couldn't stick with it.
That was a
But the
bullshit
Cowboys
game.
win. You have the second seed in the division locked up. All you
Yep.
have to do is beat two teams that combined have like 7 wins
Yep.
on the season.
Yep.
And then you get the second seed. Then you play at home for the rest of the playoffs.
Mhm.
You get one of those easy wild card games, Packers, Rams, whoever. Then you play either the Lions or the Cowboys. You don't have to play the Niners right away. You play them at home. Then if you get that far, you get the Niners in the conference championship after you've already won 2 games, a veteran team that I mean, if you win 2 playoff games, I don't care how ugly it was. You got to have some momentum building up to
Oh,
you.
for sure.
But now you're going to go away. You're going to go to Tampa. You're going to go to New Orleans, wherever it is. Then, if you win that, you are going to have to go to San Francisco to play a well-rested Niners team that is ready to just destroy you. And that is
Hmm.
not where you want to be. I don't feel confident playing the Niners in the divisional round. You could have lied to me and said maybe we have a better chance, momentum and all that. I still think the Niners are significantly better than us, but conference championship things are different. It's this team just there's really nothing to be positive about. Nothing changes. It's the biggest problem. Nothing changes. The same problem. Matt Patricia changed. And my God, the amount of times Hassan Reddick or Nolan Smith were in coverage makes me think that wasn't a good change either.
Yeah, I don't have any answers. You look at, like we said, coaching is a huge concern, the game planning, but then the players aren't executing either. Like, I think Jalen is getting a lot of shit, and he's played fine, especially because he was hurt. I think even this game he played pretty well, but the rest of the team, man, especially the defense is way too talented to be
I think it
abysmal
comes
like
down to
that.
this. I mean, this is who we are. I've accepted it.
This
What we're gonna have
season,
to do,
yes, I
we're gonna have
can't.
to go in the playoffs. You're gonna still run quarterback draws on 3rd and 10. That's who they
Oh,
are. They're still gonna run screen passes with Devontae Smith blocking because that's who they are. They're still not gonna get any pass rush because that's who they are. And they're still gonna get torched in the secondary because that's also who they are. They're gonna break tackles, but maybe get lucky enough. Maybe a couple balls bounce through. Maybe AJ Brown and Devontae Smith come down with some beautiful to the Jalen Hurts passes in double coverage or whatever. Maybe DeAndre Swift breaks one, but this is who they are. You got to get lucky. That's all it is. You think back to games like, the Bills that, had some questionable calls and you went to overtime and Jake Elliott hits a massive kick. You have the Chiefs who, their wide receivers are so ass that they drop the ball that's in their hands. The Cowboys, Dak Prescott steps out of bounds. You need that kind of luck
yeah.
because you are not winning these games just because you're the better team.
Yes. Well, I think that's enough Eagles exhaustion for one episode.
They
Um,
sicken me. They really sicken me.
Elsewhere around the league in week 17, we had a Thursday, the last Thursday. I don't think there's a Thursday game this week.
No,
We
there's not.
had the Browns beat the Jets 37-20, and the Browns and Joe Flacco. We're going to the playoffs. How about that?
I like the Browns.
I'm
I mean,
rooting
their
for them.
defense is I mean, the defense is very strong. They got some playmakers. Joe Flacco's doing enough. Joe Flacco's resurgent. Is Joe Flacco comeback player of the year, even though he played like what, 6 games?
I'd give it to them. Hell yeah.
You have to. No better
Um,
way than coming off your couch to then being in the playoffs.
yeah. And then, like we kind of touched on, the most controversial game might be all season. Cowboys beat the Lions 20-19. If you did not see it, the Lions, and to be honest, they were being stupid about this, but Lions tied. Well, they scored a touchdown, made a 1 point game, went for two, which I like. I was like, fuck it, yeah, I like that.
That was a good
Um,
call.
and Taylor Decker, one of their offensive tackles, went and supposedly reported to the official, which means that he's an active receiver and can catch the ball. Um, and so he went out and caught the ball and scored the 2 point conversion, and then the refs said he was ineligible. So everyone on the Lions side was furious because they were like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Apparently, I forget who was maybe Rex Ryan on ESPN was saying that um, every coach meets with the referees before the game and like details like, hey, these are some of our trick plays. These are some of the players that might touch the ball, like if they're going to be linemen or whatever. And they like tell them, hey, whatever. And I think what happened was they said number 70, their other tackle or guard, he was also reporting to kind of confuse the Cowboys. And I
Yeah.
guess somehow that got mixed up. And regardless, the Lions had three chances to just score a kick, tie the game, and they went for it three times. So
Yeah, it's
I
very,
would
very
have kicked it
questionable.
after the first penalty. That was
Oh, of
fucking
course.
stupid.
Well, I mean,
But
few thoughts on this. First, I think that the reporting eligible is the stupidest thing in the world.
it is
I
so
don't think
dumb.
players should
I
have
don't
to do it.
understand it at
It's
all.
so dumb. Why do you have, because again, you get guys like offensive tackles who never do this ever have to be responsible for doing this. Like it should be done by, I think, a coach on the sideline should tell that referee right there, hey, so and so is going to be eligible. They call it in, they announce it over the speaker, or do whatever you do. But this reporting player is so dumb.
I think if it's
And
any player should be allowed to fucking catch the ball. It's such a stupid rule.
well, I mean, I don't know. That opens up a whole nother world. But I think just it should be someone else that isn't the players reporting themselves eligible. Because then the other thing was, and the referee kind of just basically tried to justify by saying, oh, well, Skipper, the offensive right tackle, and Sewell came up like, acting like they were reporting eligible. And then Decker reported eligible apparently. And he's trying to say, oh, yeah, they're trying to fool the Cowboys. Like, it's almost like, oh, you're trying to get one over me? Yeah, right, buddy. Watch this. But then clearly, like the NFL didn't see it that way because Schefter already announced that they're punishing the referee and he's not getting any playoff games. Like clearly, they
Yeah.
don't really see it as the way he's saying it was. So the whole thing seems stupid. It's a dumb rule. But yeah, on Dan Campbell, I like your balls, man, but I get you're frustrated. But the thing was, like, you had a penalty, then the Cowboys had a penalty. You're on your fourth play. Like, how
Hmm.
many awesome plays do you think you have to win the game? Like, I like the first one, it was great, but you're on
Yeah.
your fourth play. Like,
Yeah.
now you're just cycling through plays that you wouldn't call in a game-winning situation. So, whatever. I can understand you're just pissed off. You want to do it. You want to win.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think it's such a stupid rule.
Yeah. It's a good game, but man, it was terrible way it ended. Um, Moving on to
Hell of a
Sunday.
catch too, man. One other thing on
Yeah.
there, like that was he went up there and got that, and I was like, it was sad because it really took away a great play.
Yeah. Yeah, they fought back. I mean, the Cowboys, this is the second game in a row they left too much time on the clock for the other team. So,
Yeah, well,
um, but anyways, Texans and Titans played. Titans were eliminated from the playoffs. Texans won 26-3. Jay Stroud returned. Um, I guess he didn't do too much because I started him in fantasy. He only had 12 points. Um, but hmm. Bears beat the Falcons, who Falcons might be the most confusing team because some weeks they win and they look like, oh, wow, maybe they can be a little competitive. And then other weeks they're like, yeah, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. Bijan
yeah, I think that's
Robinson
Arthur
is
Smith.
like the most underutilized. Hilarious that they get two generational talents in positions in Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson, and they don't know how to use either of them. Even the Eagles could probably figure out how to use them.
I actually saw something very interesting that popped up because I was looking, I forget where I was reading, but they were like, players eligible for their fifth year eligibility or whatever this year. Like the team has the choice. It's always a year before they hit their fifth year. Kyle Pitts Would you pick up his 5th year option?
If I'm the Falcons, probably not.
I mean, I'm kind of like saying I know Arthur Smith is a really bad coach and they've had some bad quarterbacks, but generational talent, man. I don't.
I
You
can't
are.
believe
He's getting
he's
close
been
to
the
that
I
bust. To,
can't believe he's been the legal long enough now that he's getting the the contract extension talks already.
well,
But
the 5th year option because he was drafted 20, so the 24 you
yeah,
got to make your decision a year in ahead. But yeah, I don't know. I don't. He's been extremely disappointing. I mean,
I don't think
circumstance is one thing, but
I don't think he's translating as well to the NFL as people thought. I think he was just a beast and a force in college, and it's not still a good player, I think, but I just don't think he's like a number one tight end
I
potential
just think
guy.
that you draft a tight end 4th overall, you have a plan for him. But clearly, the Falcons don't have a
Clearly
plan for
not.
anyone because they
Clearly
did the
not.
same thing with Robinson. So I don't know. I think for fantasy sakes and the sake of Atlanta, Arthur Smith has to be out of a job.
Um, Second dumbest thing I said on my solo episode last week was that the Dolphins were going to give the Ravens a game and might even upset them. Boy, was I wrong. The Ravens won 56 to 19, asserting their dominance in not only the AFC, but the NFC. And Lamar, I would say, is locked in to get MVP now. So they are scary.
Yeah, that was you beat down the Dolphins and the Niners back-to-back weeks. I don't know how you get more impressive than that.
Yeah. And hilariously enough, the Dolphins did clinch a playoff spot, but they play Buffalo this week. And Buffalo has to win or they don't make the playoffs. But if they win, they become the 2 seed and get their division. Isn't that
Wow,
crazy?
the AFC man is wild.
The Bills, if they win, they get the 2 seed. If they lose, they don't make the playoffs. That is insane. I would be pissed if I was a Bills fan.
And the
But
Dolphins can go from basically
they were the
a
one
game
seed at
away
one
to
point.
locking in the 1 seed to now if they lose next week will end up as a wild card.
Yeah. Yeah, AFC is crazy. But yeah, Bills hold on to beat the Patriots 27 to 21. It's a way too close for them, but I thought the Bucks were turning a corner here, but then they lost to the Saints 23 to 13. I don't even know who's in the lead in that division anymore. They're all like the same record.
You know what? That
Um,
that game was just a reminder that the NFC South is all ass. They're all the same. They
that's
just
why
all
like no
stink.
matter what the Eagles do, I'm still confident they can beat one of those teams.
Oh yeah, I
But
mean, I would be very worried if we played like say the Rams or someone, but I think
yeah,
we found
and we
against the
beat the
NFC
Rams
South.
before, but different team right now, obviously. Um, like we said, Cardinals beat the Eagles 35-31. Disgusting. Jags without Trevor Lawrence beat the Panthers 26-0. Panthers
This,
are
this is a more of an insight of how bad the Panthers are.
yeah, they're not good. Your owner is in the skybox throwing fucking drinks at the window because he's had enough. But oh well, what can you do? Colts hang on to beat the Raiders 23 to 20. Raiders got eliminated from the playoffs, but I hope Pierce keeps the job. I think he did a pretty good job for them. I mean, they always
I
get
do
good
too.
interim coaches, but then they decide to do a splash signing instead. I hope
Well,
they.
it's part of the reason why they
I
keep
think
firing
this one
coaches.
they'll. I think this time around they'll keep them. But
Yeah.
so Colts still in the playoffs, and then Rams beat the Giants 26-25. Actually kind of a thriller at the end of that game. Tyrod Taylor, V Tech alum. I always just like Tyrod, but obviously I can't really root for him now he's on the Giants. But
I'm worried that Tyrod starts this game this week and we
he
look.
threw
Well, to
for
be honest,
300 yards.
are we even going to start starters? Like, I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
But I want them playing every single down, every single minute. They
I'm
don't deserve to
just
fucking rest.
I'm so done with them. I'm like, I don't even want to see it. I
What would
just let's
resting do for
do it in the
them?
playoffs. They put nothing. It hurts to watch the Eagles right now. I'm like at the point where the next time I see them, I just want them to be eliminated when they get destroyed.
Well, we could either have a very quiet and peaceful January, or we can be ripping our hair out every week and still having a little bit of hope.
I was gonna say, like the January, like is a very tough. It kind of sucks. It's probably the worst month, to be honest. There's nothing going on. It's cold. It's miserable,
Well, besides playoff football, yeah.
and that's what I mean. Like, if you don't like football, like, what do you actually do in January? Like, it must be terrible.
I mean, I feel
But then
like
I think myself,
February is even worse though. You got nothing in February after the Super Bowl.
yeah, but we have a leap year this year, so that alone makes it exciting.
Sure.
But I mean, it's just like now I'm starting to realize, like, I hate the Eagles and I really can't stand watching football currently. So I'm starting to realize how terrible January actually is.
Ugh. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, sadly, I'll always have a little glimmer of hope, but right now I have no confidence in them. So
You know what? No, no, no. I'll be on the hype train. I'll be with you again after the Giants game, like going in the playoffs. Like, all right, veteran team, they know what they're doing. Da, 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 da. I just need to get this Giants game over the way. Like, if they lose, I'll just I don't even. So
if
what?
they
Who cares?
if they beat the Giants in a close game, I gained 3% confidence from zero. If they blow them out and beat them by like 20 plus, I'll get like 6% confidence. So either way, they're not going to help
So if
my
they
confidence
lose,
boost.
were you negative confidence or?
Sub team.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
All right. The final games we had looked like Commanders almost gave the 49ers a hard time, but they ended up piling on a couple points. They won 27-10. Hoping they can give Dallas a hard time. Then we have the Steelers beat the Seahawks pretty surprisingly, 30-23. So you lost your bold prediction. Mike Tomlin is going to be, was it over
So
500 this
close.
year? Yeah.
So close.
Um, Bengals eliminated from the playoffs in their loss to the Chiefs, 25-17. Chiefs, same boat as the Eagles. They still don't look good. But who
Yeah,
knows?
but
Who knows? Just get to the
I
playoffs.
mean, they don't look good, but
They
it's
got
more
their
like,
division.
yeah, their players just. I mean, really, it's just their wide receivers can't
Yeah,
make
they
any
just don't have a
plays.
lot of talent on offense.
I mean,
But
Kelsey's not has a down year, but I wouldn't be surprised if Travis Kelsey just torched the world in the
I
next
mean,
3 games.
people forget Travis Kelce's like 34, 35. He's been in the league a while. He's
Yeah,
old.
but he's also someone that I think when the playoffs come on, he's going to be on.
Yeah, we'll see. Um, Broncos beat the Chargers 16-9. I don't know who the hell watched that game. Russell Wilson was benched because of contract disputes. So both of them are very not best
Very
of friends right
odd,
now.
very odd relation right there. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really weird situation. I find it hard to believe that just releasing Russell Wilson's a smart move, but it seems like that's where we're going. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's been a disaster there to say the least, but
Yeah.
what else do you do?
Can't tell you. And then Sunday Night Football, Packers beat the Vikings 33-10. Um, Packers still alive in the playoffs. I think Vikings, I don't know if they were eliminated.
Vikings are still alive.
They are still alive. Okay. But that is a wrap on week 17. We have 1 week left to go. And yeah. All right, Tim. What do we, I got to say too, I didn't even bother trying to do studs and duds. I just listed like three duds last week. So yeah,
Fair
I
enough.
give you props. There's a lot of work that goes into this.
It is a lot of work. See, I'm glad you appreciate it. I mean, some weeks are easier than others, but this one
The
was
duds are
pretty.
tough.
I tell you that every week, man. It's
Mhm.
like you're tempted to take like guys like Zach Wilson or like Mac Jones every week, but you're like after 6 weeks in a row it gets old. But I
Fair,
keep putting
fair.
in the hard work. Alrighty, so obviously we're in a bad mood, so this will be easy. Again, I don't normally put Eagles on the list, but this is another special
Whole team.
occasion that deserves it. So I'm going to go with our third dud this week is a guy who we waited all season for. We were all talking about, man, that'll be a huge addition right before playoffs. And what happens? He comes back after, I don't know, how long has he been out? Like 2 months? And he immediately
This
gets
week too.
torched by every receiver on the
But I've never heard of.
three-win Cardinals up and down the field.
Uh-huh.
I mean, yeah, the whole defense stunk, but this is just the epitome of the Eagles defense. They bring back a guy, they're excited, big name, someone we're used to, veteran, productive guy,
Used to
goes
be
in and
great
just
in the
gets
slot.
torched. Yeah,
Yeah.
just gets torched. So Devontae Maddox, who I waited all season to come back, and now I kind of wish he was just back on the inactive list, is our third dud.
Oh, Monte.
Second dud. This guy, man, you know what? Surefire way to get you on the dud list. Get fired, as you know, lose your
Oh,
job.
yeah.
Second one is run your mouth, talk your shit, and not back it up. Man, like you want to go out there, you want to poke the bear. Like Jamar Chase went out there and said all the whole Chiefs secondary sucks. They don't know what they don't do nothing. They do absolutely nothing. Nothing they do is impressive. They double team me, and that's all they do. And then he was out there and catches 3 balls for 41 yards, and his team loses. And now they're eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah.
And top of that, man, he keeps running his mouth. Like, dude, shut up. You don't deserve to run your mouth here. Your superstar wide receiver called out this secondary who just stopped you and your entire offense,
Yep.
and you just eliminate from the playoffs. Like, talk about a dud performance there to really put a bow on a disappointing season for the Bengals. But
Hmm.
yeah, really poor to see from Jamar Chase. So he's the second dud.
Yeah, they really ruined our whole Super Bowl matchup, MVP, Offensive Player of the
Yeah,
Year
yeah. Burrow got
predictions.
hurt. It was they were
Yeah, it
never
was
going to put it
derailed
together.
after that. Brownie did fine, but
Yeah. So yeah, first dud this week.
oh,
Um, so this guy, there's very few requirements I feel as an NFL owner.
hmm,
You're kind of the public face of the team.
hmm,
You're this one that's supposed to be the captain of the ship. Stay behind the scenes is all good. Make your appearances at charity events.
hmm,
Do the press
hmm,
conferences when that you're hiring someone new or your draft pick. Make the phone call for the draft pick. They showed Jerry do it nearly every year. But outside of that, we've seen from numerous owners over and over and over again. The more involved you are, the less success you see.
hmm.
And you definitely don't want to be the laughing stock or be the what all the eyes are drawn to when you're an owner. So, I mean, David Tepper's already off to a rough start. He's already firing
Yeah.
coaches less than a season in. He's making very, I would say not irrational, but like quick to short decision, short-term decisions when it comes to trades and drafts and free agencies. Because, one thing, his team's terrible. They just
Hmm.
lost the first overall pick. Well, they actually just guaranteed the first overall pick to the Chicago Bears. And then on top of that, man, you're over here throwing drinks out the window at opposing teams. Like, what are we doing? Like, come on. Like, I mean, in the world of America, I'm sure that guy's going to sue him, and we'll see where it goes. But like, just stay in the background. That's what good owners do. They stay in the background. They don't get heavily involved in trading for, first overall pick quarterbacks and then fire coaches in their first season, and they don't throw drinks on people. So now that Daniel Snyder's out of the league, David Tepper's kind of given us the run for the worst owner in NFL. So he's our number one dud this week.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know of any Panthers fans, but you got to feel a little bad for them if however many there are out there. They're going through it. I mean, I'm not a Panthers fan. I don't like the Panthers. They have nice jerseys, but ever since they beat the Eagles in the NFC Championship game in like circa
Mm,
2004, 2003, yeah, I never liked them. But eh,
very reasonable.
Steve
Hold the
Smith's
grudges.
cool.
Yeah, but it's just like, 8 months ago, they had the first overall pick. They had a new owner, new
They
coach.
had some talent too. They got Brian Burns. They got some young guys, but
Yeah,
they
defensively, they're all right. Offensively, it looks like a disaster. Well, I
JC
say that. They
Horn. I
gave
think
up
JC Horn
26
was
points.
he was out all year, wasn't he?
He's injured every day,
Yeah.
every day. All
Oh,
right,
okay.
moving on
Nice.
to the good stuff that we don't deserve because we root for the Eagles.
Hmm.
Going to the other side of that Panthers trade that we kind of referenced already, I'm going with the team that really, I mean, they're in a real nice position. They're 7-9, just picked up a big win against a team that's, competing for their division. That's the NFC South, but it still counts as a division.
Hmm.
And they went out there and looked real good. They put up 37 points in a snowball. They picked off Taylor Heineke 3 times. Offensively, though, the guy that we mentioned in this trade he played real well as a number one wide receiver. 9 receptions, 159 yards, and a tutty. DJ Moore stepped up. That's what the Panthers missed. They missed guys like DJ Moore, and he's looking real good in Chicago. I think
He's
this
had a
was
really good second half of the
yeah, he's
season.
really ever since that Thursday night game against the Commanders, he's turned it on. And credit to the Bears because they are 7-9 right now, have the first overall pick plus their own draft pick,
Must be
and they're
nice.
in a good position. And quick answer: the Bears. Do you draft Marvin Harrison Jr., who's probably the best player in the draft, and pair him with DJ Moore and Justin Fields because you're all in Justin Fields, or do you look to trade it again? And then, I mean, if Bryce Young got you DJ Moore and the first overall pick, what do you think Caleb Williams is going to get you?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like wide receivers go to Chicago to die usually. There's a couple exceptions. DJ Moore seems to be an exception there, but I'd trade it probably. I mean, trade it,
Yeah.
stockpile the picks, get some offensive linemen to keep, Fields upright. And maybe he can develop a little more, but I would
I mean,
I'd probably trade it
I
because I think
I
you
would
can trade it
definitely
and still be top 10. So you can still get, talent somewhere or maybe get a player. I don't know.
no, I'm leaning towards what you said. I think last year the whole drama last year was like, is it Fields or is it Young or Stroud? and then obviously ended up trading it and all that. This year, I mean, there's no doubt. You stuck with Fields last
Yeah,
year.
you
I
go forward
really
with
don't.
Fields.
I don't see
Yeah.
them taking away from now. Now it's, do you trade it or are you drafting? Because you could draft an offensive tackle pretty high, but I think you can also trade back. You wouldn't have to go too far back. That someone will be willing to jump up to get
I
Caleb
don't
Williams.
I don't think we were far off base saying that them taking Caleb Williams was a possibility, but I think Justin Fields stepped his game
No,
up, played a lot
listen,
better.
you're
So,
7-9. You got a number one wide
yeah.
receiver. You still need talent on this team. Don't get me wrong. Their defense looks better. They got some players there, but they have a ton of free agency, ton of money in free agency, ton of draft picks. I think that it's something you look into. But
Mm.
yeah, DJ Moore, number one stud. Moving on.
Number one or
This
number three?
one, I'm sorry, number three.
Okay.
Moving on. This was actually one of the closer 1-2 stud debates I've had this whole entire season, to be honest with you. Both guys, it's fantasy championship week. So I think both guys probably won many championships. But I'm gonna lean towards um going with the wide receiver here. So wide receiver again, huge game. 13 receptions, 227 yards, one touchdown. Miraculously could have had two, but fumbles the ball at the 1 yard line. That was pretty much the only blemish because my God, he was dominant. He could not be stopped. And almost crazy to think that one guy had 13 receptions for 227 yards and one touchdown, and his team only managed to score 20 points in total. But we digress. So CeeDee Lamb, who is, I mean, been incredible all season long, is going to definitely make a strong case for top three wide receiver when we do these rankings. Had probably the best game of his career and won many fantasy championships. So going with CeeDee Lamb as the second stud.
Yeah, unfortunately he was balling for sure. I'm surprised he's number two.
Well, you know what? Like I said, this was one of the closer 1-2s I can remember this season. And I went with him at two and this guy at one because you know what? Style points matter. And don't get me wrong, CeeDee Lamb was awesome. He had that one little blemish with the fumble, and his team did win, but that was very close. This guy, on the other hand, you want to talk about a statement win. They went and dropped 56 against the shockingly a team that was competing for the number one overall seed in the AFC. 18 of 21 for 321 yards and five touchdowns.
Hmm.
Throw in, if you want, you throw in 35 yards rushing there too, but he completed 18 passes and five of them were for touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, the efficiency, the dominance against a team that is very good is just jaw dropping. So, I mean, the league MVP, number one stud. I mean, he had to be. I think I don't know if he's been number one stud at all this season, to be honest. I can't remember, but they're not going to play him this week. I had to give him one number one stud. He's been really good all year. But 56 against the Dolphins, you got to go with Lamar.
Yeah, I mean we nobody knew what was going to happen with him with the whole contract dispute, and then he signed his contract right before the season or whatever that was, and I think when we did one of the episodes, I said he was going to get traded to I forget where, but yeah, it's been a whirlwind, and good for the Ravens. I mean, crazy that you have Jim Harbaugh and John Harbaugh both have their teams number one in their respective sports. So
Yeah, I think it's to all the Lamar haters. I think this was a shut 'em up year because they got away from Greg Roman, who was strictly a I'm going to run Lamar Jackson offense, and they got him some weapons. I mean, a decrepit Odell Beckham and a
yeah, he's
Nelson
been playing
Aguilar,
well
but
though.
he has. I'll give him that. But I mean, they got him some weapons, but more importantly, they changed the scheme. They got away from let's just let Lamar Jackson run the ball 30 times a game, and they let him pass. And man, he is. I mean, people want to complain about his efficiency or his accuracy. 18 to 21 for five touchdowns. That's
I'll
that's
take
hard to
that.
argue. I think one of them was a drop pass by Rashad Bateman that should have been like a 75-yard touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, and he lost Mark Andrews too, and you got Isaiah Likely
Oh,
stepped up, and
honestly, you cannot say enough about how great he's been this year.
oh yeah, so hats off to Lamar. And you know what? As Eagles fans, John Harbaugh was nothing but good to us as a special teams coach, and he's been great with them. So slight, if you got to root for somebody, we can root for them. But
No, no, no. Wait, listen, the Eagles are going to be eliminated in probably the wild card round. After that, we can go and be nice and root for other people. Until then, we are still locked in.
okay, all right. So let's get into a playoff edition of uh, cooked or simmering. All right.
Hmm.
So we're gonna look at teams that either are in the hunt or clinching, whatever it may be. So starting off, are they cooked or are they simmering? We have the Houston Texans. They are 9-7, and they are tied with the Colts, but the Colts, I think, have like a slight lead right now. So they are currently just outside. And they play the Colts this week, so
So basically a win and in.
I think so, yeah.
Um, oof, this one's tough, but I'm gonna say simmering. I still think they have a good chance. I mean, this
Mm,
game's like a coin toss, to be honest with you. You go either way. Stroud's back. Stroud looked really good on his first game back. I'm buying in. They really only took a dip when he got hurt, so I'm saying simmering.
okay. I'm gonna take two powerhouses with this next one. So we got Miami Dolphins. Got
Hmm.
blown up by Baltimore. They really haven't beaten a good team besides Dallas, and even that was like last second. Currently the 2 seed. If they lose to Buffalo this week, they will drop to the, I think, 5th seed. Are they cooked or are they simmering heading into the playoffs?
I mean, I'm not gonna say they're cooked. The Chubb injuries hurt. I think Howard got hurt
He's out for
too.
the year.
But I mean, the defense wasn't winning them games. The offense is high powered. It makes big plays. I still think they're kind of borderline frauds, but I'm not going to say they're completely cooked. I don't know how serious they are of a contender, but they have too much firepower to think that they can't compete with anyone.
Okay. And then the grand finale, cooked or simmering, the number 5 seed, 11-5, Philadelphia Eagles.
Honestly, I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off. I'm going to say cooked.
They're cooked.
And I'm not going to lie. I've been lying to myself all year.
So am
I've been
I.
lying. I've been looking at myself in the mirror and keep telling myself that everything, because you did the pod last week by yourself, and I appreciate that.
Uh-huh.
But I would have been the same boat as you. I was feeling optimistic.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's not that you lost to the Cardinals. It's not that Drew Lock beat you. It's the fact that the same things I'm complaining about now are the same things they were doing that I was complaining about when they were winning games. Nothing has changed. The luck has changed. That's it.
Yeah, I just until they prove me wrong,
Yeah,
they are
until they prove
cooked.
me wrong. Yeah.
So, all right. Moving on, we have last thing to do is our picks, our final picks for the year. But then we can do our power rankings. We haven't really been touching on these in a couple episodes. So, I mean, the last time we did power rankings, then the Eagles were like top three. So that's definitely changing.
Um,
Um, yeah, I don't even know where to go. Oh, the
I
Ravens are
mean,
one.
Niners.
Ravens, Niners, yeah. Um, but after that, man, it's
Well, it
kind
would
of a
hurt my soul, but
crapshoot.
really, I mean, probably put the Cowboys there because they just knocked off the Lions.
But even
I'd
then,
say
like they don't
Cowboys,
look
Lions.
great.
Yeah, I know, but you're not going to put the Dolphins there. Cowboys, Lions.
And then
Really, Chiefs, Dolphins, Bills
Bills.
in whatever order you want.
I probably Bills are playing pretty well right now. I'd probably say Bills,
Bills, Browns, Chiefs,
Bills,
Dolphins.
Browns, Chiefs. So we got AFC heavy here.
Well, the NFC has got three good teams.
Um, let's see where we're at. So we got one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Do the Eagles still
Yuck.
stay in the top 10?
Oh boy, yuck.
They probably have to just because of how bad the
Yeah, I
league
guess you
is.
do. I think you do.
Trying to think of who else would be. I
No,
guess
I think it's the Eagles. I mean, I don't know who else you're gonna find. Put the Eagles there, and
Eagles
then
at
I would
9.
put I would finish with Indy and Houston. In Houston, I think they're neck and neck.
I'd put Indy, I guess.
Yeah, Indy and Houston
Well, all right. Well, there you have it, folks. The Eagles still, for as abysmal as they are, still a top 10 team in the league.
makes me want to vomit.
Yeah. Well, speaking of vomit, I you had a bit of a lead in our game picks in the beginning of the year. Then I caught up. Then I had a bit of a lead. We are now tied heading into the final
Wow,
week. How about that?
really?
Yes.
Wow, how'd that happen?
I don't know. I had a 1 game lead on you, and then you went 11-5 this week. I went 10-6, so you caught up on
Ooh,
the 1 game. We had Patterson doing guest picks. He went 10-6, very respectable. Well done,
not
Pat.
better than me, but yeah.
So I mean, guest picks are right behind us, but they are not, unless we both tank and they do well, they will be in third place. So we'll have to see how this one pans out.
I'm
But
proud of us because I feel like we were getting wrecked by the guests for a while there.
we did, yeah, we was like you were really doing really well, and then the guests were doing really well, then I started doing really well, and that's kind of mellowed out to where it should be. But
Let's see.
alrighty. Starting off, we have Saturday, two games on Saturday. Steelers at the Ravens. Are the Ravens sitting their starters?
Yeah, I think they're going to sit everyone. You
Don't
know
I
what?
hate the Steelers?
Yeah, I would agree with that. But you know what? I'll give Tomlin credit. Now that my prediction is completely off the table, I think that they're going to win this. Tomlin seems like he'll have his team ready for what essentially is a, playoff game.
Yeah, I don't. uh, If they're gonna completely sit, then I'm probably gonna have to go Steelers as well. But yeah, I could still see the Ravens somehow beating the Steelers, who really aren't that good. But in the final Saturday game, 8 o'clock, Texans and the Colts, which from what I understand is for the wild card spot. Um, I'm assuming one of those teams isn't going to make it unless something else happens. But
Listen, I'm hopping on the Texans. They were looking good. Stroud got hurt. That was the only difference. He's back. They look good this week. I think they're gonna. I liked what they were doing. I'm buying in.
I think I'm going to take this game to be one of the different ones. I'll take the Colts here. I think Steichen is definitely in. This is honestly this is the battle for Coach of the Year in my opinion
Yeah, I
between
agree with that.
Steichen and D'Amico. So we'll see who comes out on top. Next game, Jags and the Titans. For some reason, this just screams like the Jaguars are going to fold here like they did last year.
No,
Um,
no, I can't see it. I'm taking the Jags. The
yeah,
Titans are
I
terrible.
can't risk it. Can't risk it. I don't know if Trevor Lawrence is playing. I'm assuming he's going to come back, but we'll see.
Hmm.
Vikings at the Lions. Who do you like in that?
Oh, the Lions are gonna they're going for blood. I really don't think they need to play starters, but they seem pretty pissed off and the Vikings suck. I'll take the Lions.
Yeah, I think even like a Lions sitting their players would beat the Vikings, so I will take Lions. Falcons at the Saints, man. Just throw a fucking
Oh,
firecracker in a fire pit and see what happens.
I mean, Heineke had 3 picks and got pulled for Desmond Ritter. I don't even know who they start. It doesn't matter. I'll take the Saints.
Yeah, the Saints should, I say should win this game, but like I said, the Falcons are a strange fucking team. But
They're also not good.
no, no. But Jesse Bates is good. He's been
That's
pretty good
true.
for
That's true. He is good.
Jets at the Patriots.
Oh boy.
Watch,
Yeesh.
watch, watch this game be the one that decides who takes the first place in our picks championship here.
Oh, this one's tough. You know what?
It's a coin
I'll
flip.
I'll take the Jets. There's something about like I think the AFC's teams against the Patriots, like even though the Patriots suck, there's 20 years of anger that these teams have. And I think that defense will definitely try to ruin the Patriots. So I'm going with the Jets.
I agree with you that the Jets defense is probably going to ruin them, but Bill Belichick at home to end the season, I don't know. I think he's going to find a way to win, taking Patriots. Buccaneers at the Panthers. Well, Bucks got a blessing here. All they got to do is beat
Oh yeah, it's
Carolina.
the Bucks. This is the Bucks. I just wonder what drink he's gonna throw on his fans, David Tepper.
Oh God. Yeah, I'm taking the Bucks. Browns at the Bengals. I could see the Browns slipping here. I mean, they have the wild card locked up, but
I'm taking the Browns. They seem to be on a roll. I think they're gonna get a little momentum. The Bengals just really
I
don't seem
don't.
like they're in a good spot.
Yeah, I don't see them
Chase and
sitting.
Higgins are both hurt. Who knows if they play?
I don't see them sitting anyone just because you want to keep the momentum. So I'll take the Browns as well. Let's go Bears at the Packers. This is pretty impactful game too. I don't know if the Bears still have a shot at the playoffs, but
I don't think they do, but the Packers do. But you know what? Is that in Lambeau or in Soldier Field?
oh wait, the Bears were eliminated, so they are not in the play. Wait, so Atlanta, Minnesota, New Orleans, and Seattle are still in the hunt.
Well, yeah.
Technically, Tampa Bay hasn't even clinched yet either, but they have the
They just
division.
have to beat the
They
Panthers.
just have to beat the Panthers. Green Bay is got the last wild card spot right now. They're
Who?
8-8. Seattle is 8-8, and the Saints are 8-8.
Packers and Bears. Where is it? Soldier Field or Lambeau?
Mm, Packers, Soldier Field. I mean, not Soldier
You
Field,
know.
Lambeau.
Oh, well, it's tough. Do I really think the Bears are going to go to Lambeau and beat the Packers?
This is not the Aaron Rodgers Packers. So
No. You know what?
Jordan
Listen, I'm
Jordan
buying in.
Love, he's got
I'm
30
buying in.
touchdowns, you know.
No, I'm buying in on the Bears. The good times are rolling. I
Oh
think they're
shit.
gonna. This will be a playoff game for them. They're gonna want to ruin the Packers season. And honestly, they have nothing to lose. They already have the number one all seed wrapped up.
I'm gonna take the Packers. It's gonna
Fair
be
enough.
we got what, three? I think three games now that are different. Could be dicey. Um Cowboys at the Commanders. I really want to pick
No,
the
no,
Commanders.
no. It doesn't. No, that's definitely in the Cowboys.
I'm gonna pick the Cowboys in hopes that I'm wrong. All right. Broncos at the Raiders. Eesh.
Yeesh. Yeah, I'll take the Raiders. They seem to be a
Yeah,
little more motivated.
I will also take the Raiders. Broncos have nothing to play for right now.
Who was that? Jared Stidham versus? Or no, Jared Stidham. It's eight. Yeah, Jared Stidham versus Aiden O'Connell. What a matchup.
Am I
The
watching
AFC
am I
West
watching
starting
D2 college
Aiden.
football? Like what do
Yeah,
I
AFC West starting Aiden O'Connell, Jarrett Stidham, Easton Stick, and Patrick Mahomes.
what
What a
it,
combination!
what was the Thursday night game we had like Mitch Trubisky versus who the fuck was that? Like a backup quarterback. It was bad.
Just makes you
But
think like no one wanted Flacco, but whatever.
who knows? Um Seahawks at the Cardinals. I mean, I was saying all year the Cardinals play fairly tough. They're not a good team, but they are scrappy. And we saw that against the Eagles. They pretty much dominated them, to be honest.
Yeah,
Um, I don't think they really have a home field advantage, and the Seahawks need a win. I'll take Seattle.
yeah. I think this is a must-win game for the Seattle. Pretty much playoff game. I can't see them dropping it to a Cardinals.
Um,
Well, I mean, the Cardinals maybe have a little hangover from beating us, but who knows?
Rams at the 49ers.
You know what? I think the Niners are going to start all backups. They already rolled McCaffrey out. The Rams need this game for, I think, seeding. I don't think they're locked in yet, but so I'm going to take the Rams.
I agree. I think 49ers, which like it sucks that see like oh my God. So much could have happened last week. If the Eagles would have won and the Lions would have won, or actually I guess Dallas, but
Yeah, we wanted Dallas to win.
yeah, all the Eagles had to do was win, man. The
Exactly.
whole playoff landscape would have been different.
I know. Trust me,
God
I
damn.
know.
Yeah, I'll take the Rams there. Chiefs at the Chargers. I don't think they're gonna sit their player. I don't know. It doesn't seem like Andy Reid to sit when they're not doing well. I'll take the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, as long as Patrick Holmes is playing, I think they're more than capable of beating the Chargers.
And then the last 4 o'clock game, Eagles at the Giants. I might take the Giants. That's how low my confidence is.
I
But
can't. I mean, listen, I'm really mad at the team. I have no hopes for them, but I can't do it. I have to go to Eagles. I just can't.
also, do you realize um, a lot of our historic players on this team might have played their last game at Lincoln Financial Field last week?
Yeah, what a way to go out.
Kelsey, Graham, Cox. Yeah.
Losing to the three-win Cardinals with Jonathan Gannon. Nice, nice.
I'm yeah, I gotta one last time I will fly, Eagles fly. Hopefully hopefully we're right. And then this game I'm actually like super excited for. Bills at the Dolphins. I'm taking Buffalo, baby.
I actually,
They've been playing well.
I'm totally taking Buffalo. They've won 5 in a row now. They're a team you do not want to see in the playoffs. If they win
Yeah.
the division, their second seed, it goes through Buffalo. That's not who I want to see.
That's why it goes to show it's what you do in November, December, not what you do in September,
I
October, because
agree.
they
I
were
mean, the Dolphins,
terrible beginning of the
I
year.
think the Dolphins have life, but I don't think they're going to win this game. They don't do well against good teams, and the Bills already beat them once.
I think it'll be close at half, but it wouldn't shock me if Buffalo pulled away at the end, like in the third quarter, they start stacking points.
Hey, it's a
But
good game. I'm glad we have at least one good game this week.
yep. Well, it's all division games this week, so. But all right, well, that is a wrap on the final week. We will see between Tim and I who goes on top, unless we don't have a guest pick yet, but we'll see what they do, and maybe they pull off the upset and they come out in first place. Who knows?
We'll see how it goes. But until then,
All right, go Birds,
peace.
I guess.
Yeah.
Peace.